lives, we care deeply about getting from point A to point B, but most people don't usually think about what happens between those 2 points. Our world is built by architects and engineers who best decide how to structure the details of our life. But little did we know that the best blueprints for city planning already exist in nature, waiting to be discovered. It is easy to think of humans as separate from nature because we live in houses with air conditioning and hot water, but when we turn our backs on Mother Nature, we can't see what she has left to teach us. If we take a closer look around, we can see plants and animals who have evolved special characteristics in order to survive. Biomimicry, a term coined by Janine Benyasi, is the art of incorporating the specialized characteristics of animals to solve architectural and engineering problems. According to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, animals have developed special characteristics through the trial and error in order to survive over the course of millions of years. Through the science of biomimicry, we can employ these characteristics in our problem solving. Take a gecko, for example. It can walk up totally smooth surfaces like walls and glass due to microscopic hairs on their toes that are so fine that they create a magnetic attraction to electrons within the wall. This allows a gecko to climb up nearly any surface, and by using the idea of a gecko, we have been able to form strong medical glues that we can use to close wounds without stitches. What we need to focus on in the art of biomimicry is ensuring that we can renew the energy that we use. In nature, there is a constant exchange of nutrients and energy involved in the circle of life. When humans give, they need to make sure that they give back. There are no landfills in nature and no waste of resources. For something to be born, something must also die. Many modern products that are necessary for life require byproducts that immediately go to landfills and wreak havoc on the environment. But we can borrow designs and programs from nature to constructively reuse our waste. There are many practical uses for biomimicry that extend from nature to improve the safety of cars. Automotive engineers have used the spider web as an inspiration for the way that a windshield breaks. Instead of shattering on impact, they make the windshield distribute the trauma in the form of a spider web so that glass shards will not harm the driver. People owe their lives to advancements inspired by the common spider, and because of that, we can examine other methods it can be used for. Humans are resourceful and smart, but small mistakes in city planning often end up costly and hard to undo. Suburbia and urban sprawl are prime examples of this. According to the Wisconsin Coastal Management Program, suburban sprawl is a popular American city feature where miles and miles of land is dedicated to suburban neighborhoods. This leads to tangible health effects for humans. This is because people have less incentive to walk and due to nothing being within walking distance except for more suburban neighborhoods. This leads to people spending enormous amounts on money to maintain their cars for travel, and that in turn leads to higher CO2 rates. Cities also spend a disproportionate part of their budget to upkeep suburban roads, which service less people per mile than roads with denser populations. But because more people live over more areas, people's basic needs are not within walking distance, and so more people need cars to live. City planning and resources can exist as long as this is a means to an emphasis on public transportation, urban apartment housing, and other city programs. We can also take note of the complexity and efficiency of an ant colony. Ants know how to house a large population of people by digging space-efficient tunnels that allow for any ant to travel. Ants have also been dealing with traffic for much, much longer than we have had cars. They often travel in highway patterns where it's single file and there are multiple lanes for different areas, but they do this all without gridlock, and they do this through a means of communication that we can study to increase the efficiency of self-driving cars. We can biomimic the density housing and put things within walking distance of the suburban housing, similar to how ants would build their colonies. Biomimicry is a one cog in a complicated plan for a future that we must intentionally build. If we want to it will not solve all our problems, but it is important that we work with nature rather than against it. We should consider the longevity of humanity by investing in the future generations and focusing on giving more than we take. And the key to doing this is to integrate nature into our everyday lives and ensure our survival.